Hello and welcome to the podcast today. This is the Even Me podcast. This is More Speaks along with Kim.
Hello, y'all. This is your girl, Kim. How are we doing today? So, on our topic today, we're going to be talking about how do we prevent our past from hindering our progress in our presence.
And that's a very good question. I could start off talking about it. So I believe one of the biggest things you can do to not hinder your progress, as many people say, and even in the Bible says it, you know, you should always be looking forward and not looking into your past. And I know in past relationships, that has hindered not just me, but many folks. When you dwell in the past and you start to think about the past and you keep going back to it, and this person did this person did that. Well, you're never going to be able to do any forward progress if you continue dwelling on the past. I mean, and that goes to relationships, in jobs, in pretty much everything that you do in this day to day life.
Yeah, I like that too. Looking into the past, you can't never move forward. My dad said something which was crazy, and it didn't make sense to me. He said that when he left his marriage with my mom, an older person back then told him, when you walking away from a situation, don't just walk forward away from it. Take a couple of steps, walk backwards from it so you can see what you're leaving. You're leaving all the drama and all the pain and all the uh you know past turmoil that's gonna come with it. So once you walk backwards, you see what you're leaving. So then take them couple of steps and turn around and let's work to the present and into the future. um so you don't want to keep opening a door. You want that door to officially close and stay locked. So yeah.
So what steps do you take in your, let's say, your next relationship to not dwell on the past? What would you do?
What would I do? First of all, I know number one, put myself first. Take self care for myself, because I know me being there for somebody else or being in the relationship with somebody, I have to be. I'm not gonna say whole because it take two people to make a whole, right? I'm gonna just say I have to be at least 50% there. And that's what I want to do, is be able to feel good and confident about myself and secure with myself when I come into the relationship, not bringing any extra baggage. I like that Tamino man said that she had to leave the bricks because those bricks was weighing her down. She had to leave that suitcase of bricks. So that's step number one for me. Learning to put self-care first. Step two is getting to know a person. Just because they may look good, what car they drive, how much they make, uh, that doesn't make the person. That you seeing all this and is really under that is really like a sheep, a wolf in sheep clothing. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm learning. So not in a relationship right now, but learning to work through it, get to know a person first.
Yeah, I learned that leaving your past in your past sometimes is extremely tough because things will come up or things will happen in your current relationship that would kind of bring it back up, or I mean it's the worst thing to bring up your past relationships with your new relationship. That's one thing. Two is thinking that person, your new person, just because they do something similar to your previous relationship, that's going to cause an issue, and you don't talk about it. So communication is key. I'm bad with communicating. You can you can ask many people, but I would think communication is still key in a relationship. As long as you're communicating about the right things. Maybe sometimes you don't communicate about everything, but leaving the past in the past, and you communicate and say, hey, this is what happened in the past. I don't want to go through that again. I want to make sure that we're moving forward, and or if that person is hurt, you don't know if that person's been hurt, and like you said, they got luggage and bricks in the luggage, and that dragging it, it could be them that could bring you into the past, and it may not even be you. You're probably already at the point where you're able to move forward, and they're not.
Hmm.
So you have to be willing to work with them if you want to make that relationship work out. Or if they have
Hmm.
kids, you don't know what's going to bring back anything like old feelings, especially like if they have kids or they still have a baby mom, baby dad. You still have to deal with them from time to time, and it could be that that significant other, will try and hinder your new relationship just because that they're bitter, or you did them wrong. Who knows?
Hmm.
Whatever happened in the past, could come back. Or if you're one of these that never moves forward from your previous relationship, and you're still kind of teetering and messing around with the last person, when you see them and things like that, that will hinder your new relationship. You're still carrying that luggage. That's that luggage that you've never let go, because every time you see them, there's still there's still feelings there, and you're
Hmm.
still, haven't moved on. Let's put it that way. If you
Yeah.
haven't moved on from the previous relationship, and you have a child, in the middle, it's gonna keep coming back. No matter what, it's gonna keep coming back, because you've never, you know, excommunicated them, or stopped the chains that you had with them, and moved forward.
Yes. So basically, I was, going over that a couple of months ago. I had wrote some stuff down, and then I was going over it this week. My three things that that I will, take daily as I start working toward the relationship. I'm not dating right now, uh, or anything like that. But I'm already trying to get in that mode of what I want. So first thing is the pain of the past. Leave that there. Work through that. Leave that there. That doesn't have anything to do with present or my future. So I'm working through my pain of what all of the situation was of the 2.5 years that has, what, a year and a half, but almost 2 years, that has caused so many rough patches. So that's one thing. Two, don't want any problems that any problems that come in my present. I'm gonna work on them in my present. I'll speak on them then. If it's minor, hey, this is what happened. Let's work through this, and not allow it to fester or get worse or anything like that. Learn that person. Three is make sure that I'm not in that. I don't want to say fear, because sometimes we do, you know, have fear or objections of what the future may hold. I can't put on my future partner what my past partner did, so I'm gonna make sure that I don't fear, oh, because he did this and then he's gonna do this, or it looks like a pattern, oh, he may do this. Now let's have a conversation. So those are my three things that I'm trying to work on, before I actually, date or get into a relationship, because I don't want anybody to reap the pain of what somebody else did, or what I went through before that didn't have anything to do with them.
So let's flip the situation. So let's say a year down the line right now,
Hmm.
you've moved on, everything's good, you and your kids are straight, you're moving forward, and you're like, okay, I want to start dating. What if the person that you want to date has, luggage, and that they're bringing, not so much kids, it's just the previous relationship they got out of, maybe a few months before they started dating you, um is just there, they're having issues,
Hmm.
and it's lingering. What would you do? What
Hmm.
steps would you take at that point to kind of either help them or just let them go, because it's still lingering?
So on that, now one thing I'm learning, you gotta give everybody grace, because I probably was the worst person, and somebody probably tried to talk to me, and I probably was horrible to them, and God forgive me if I was. But I know that if it's meant to be, Yeah, I'm gonna encourage that person and, try to definitely get into some prayer or, encourage them to go to Bible study church. But if they are meant for me, I just have to sit back and allow God to work that one and not just run into each one. Okay, he's not working because, he got some issues. You never know what a person going through or went through. So you have to give them that grace. Now, am I gonna sit there and subject myself to some things? No, I won't do that. But if you're trying, if you're a person that wants to get your life right, and I see you making those progress of seeing, trying to get your life right, yeah, I'm gonna give you grace. I'm gonna pray on you, and I always say this prayer now, for God to give me my future man, for Him. So what I've learned now, God, you gonna keep getting what you're looking at. If I'm not looking for something, I'm not gonna get what I got before. You know what I'm saying? That tripped me out in church Sunday. So if I'm not looking for anything, God gonna send me what I need, and
Yeah.
it be least expected. He be standing right there. So yeah, so I know God can take brokenness, loneliness, anger, and He can turn it all around. And I suggest a lot of people read Tamala Mann and David Mann has a little book. I forgot the name of it. I'm gonna get it next time. They have a little book you can get free online, and it talks about how David, he was angry because of the abuse of his mom. Pamela, she was embarrassed because people talked about her. She was only a woman in the dark, in the shadows. That's what she said. That men only wanted to see her in the shadows, not in the light. So a lot of us have that, and I think every person, man, woman, needs to read that book because it's beneficial. So that's my thing.
Yeah. So we'll find the source and we'll add it to the
Mhm.
podcast list. So second part of the question, how long is enough? So I know you
Mhm.
said you'll give
Yeah.
some grace. So
Yes.
how long is too much? You go answer that first, and then
How long is grace? Basically, I think you don't know a person at all. I mean, you can be with a person for years and don't even really know that person. But me saying giving that person grace, let's date. Let's learn each other. First of all, you don't have to start dating. Let's be friends. I want a friend that I can talk to, a friend that I can come to. I don't have to go to outside. So if I got a friend that I'm confident that they have my back. That's first. If we can be friends without anything, that would be great. Um, and then working toward. I said up and down. You got the date, so I said about get it 2 years. I know that sounds crazy, but I
two
mean,
years?
I'm not gonna lie here and say we. Let's just be honest. Sex gonna get involved, but mentally, you have to have your everything in line. You know what I'm saying? Know what you want and want to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes yeah, feelings gonna get involved, but if you feel a closeness with that person, you will be able to say, okay, God, if this is the person for me, yeah, I want to abstain from sex, but we human. That's not gonna always happen. But I want this friendship, and I want this friendship to lead into something more because I can talk to you as a friend. Now, you my partner, that's gonna be even a greater bill right there. But first of all, I'm gonna leave it to God. I'm gonna pray on it because if I start to try to put stuff together, I already see the destruction I can cause, and everything I tried to put together kind of was destructive. So,
Yeah. In my perspective, I feel like the dating rules would start over, and what I mean by that is, um, like you said, start to date. Get to know one another. Um, Kind of learn a little bit about their past. You don't want to know everything, but you want to know enough to know if you want to continue with this person.
yeah.
Because if they're a stalker, or a crazy person, or someone who's done a lot of dirty stuff, or an ex pimp or something. I don't know. You know, someone who's done some stuff that you don't want to be, related to, or
Hmm.
deals cocaine or something. I don't know, drug dealer.
Hmm.
You may or may not. You know that when you deal with somebody like that, you have to be, you want to be in that life, and you want to be part of that life, or someone who steals a lot. So
Hmm.
you got to know everything up front before you start to bring them around your family, before you bring them
Hmm.
around your kids,
Yeah.
before you start to get true emotions. If it's a fling, it's a fling. But
Hmm.
you want to get to know them maybe a couple months down the line, you know, start to learn them a little more. If you have sex, then you have sex. Sometimes the attraction with people is, doesn't matter what they've done in their past, the attraction is still there. So and then I would think, maybe later down the line, when you two are fully aware of each other, and you've built a certain relationship, maybe bring them over once or twice, let them meet your folks, let them meet your people, once you know that it's a person that you would be willing to do that, and then maybe, like you said, maybe about a year and a half, move in together or something, or get a place together, but
Wait.
everyone's different. I mean, it's not going to work out that way, because you could in 6 months find out that they're a Looney Tune. They're they are crazy. They're like I said, they're what did I say?
Drug dealer.
A drug dealer, or a crazy person that follows you
Yeah.
around everywhere. So and you gotta get to know people, because like you said, even living with a person for many many years, you're not going to know that person 100%. There's always something there, something you didn't know, something that was hidden, that maybe each of you didn't disclose to each other or something. So I think
Mhm.
dating, pretty much after a broken relationship, has to be, you have to start all over. And like you said, if you got to work on yourself, you got to work on yourself, before you start a relationship. You got to be 100% before you start a new one, because you don't want to
Mhm.
go into another relationship broken, and things from your previous relationship hinder this one, like you said, because
Yeah.
it will go awry. It's not going to work out. You may
Yeah.
make it work after a couple of years, but you
Hmm.
hindered a big part of the relationship that you guys could have been happy. Now you're not happy, because you were still lingering for those years that you guys were dating.
Yeah. See, my thing of it is like moving in after a year. I don't think so. No, I don't. I don't. I don't think, because I think with me, my
I
situation.
mean,
I'm
not
saying this.
necessarily move in, but I'm
No.
just saying, with sometimes you can have your own place, and hang out in each
Yeah.
other's place. Maybe that, maybe not so much moving, but once, like I said, if you're sure and everything's 100%, most people move
Yeah.
in within a year.
Hmm.
But like I said, it all depends on the relationship. It all depends on what happened in yours, what happened in theirs, and when y'all came together, how it worked out.
See, I think my thing of it is because I want a guy to make. First of all, I'm friendly, and that can be turned into. And you know me, I'm friendly to everybody. You've been knowing me for years, so I want that person to understand, to have if I'm with you, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? It's not turning me anywhere because I see guys or talk to guys. I want to make sure that person is not that jealous. You want a little jealousy. I mean, just a little bit, but no, that to trust me. You know what I'm saying? If I'm with you, I'm with you, right? So in order for us to move in together that quick, that I'm not gonna have trust and he not gonna have trust. So we need to build that trust to be able to be apart from each other. So when we with each other, that's the more excitement. You know what I'm saying? Because if to me, if I go into something real quick, I think right now like that, I would be woof, like I'm tired of seeing you, and for me right now, I told one of my friends, I was like, man, I haven't been in my own bed for 13 years. This is the first time in 13 years I
Mhm.
had my own bed. So I'm loving it that I can stretch across the bed, or don't have to get up on Saturday morning and do anything, from time to time. But yeah, you have a
Yeah.
person that you're dating, that's a different story every once in a while. But yeah, you don't want to crowd that person. You want that person to have a little space to get to know themselves, to graduate where they need to graduate, and then also meet. But I think the thing of it is being apart from, living apart for a while in our own places, is to learn to trust each other. Because it seems like I have this type of personality that, to me, I think, and I see it to be flirtatious, and I'm not like that. I just like talking to people and getting to know people. What you do, man, that may help me move up in a business, or connections. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I think that's the role I would actually want to take. Now, maybe other people, I've seen them, they do it and move fast and got married, and I'm like, God dang, I ain't even do a 360 turn yet, and y'all already married. But everything works for people differently.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Every relationship's different. Now, you brought up a good point, and that's something I left out: jealousy. And
Mm.
and like you were saying, it's good to have a little bit of jealousy, but not a
Mm-hmm.
lot.
Not a lot.
Because what happens in the relationship, good jealousy is okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want that person to kind of be jealous and be like, yeah, she kind of likes this person, or he kind of likes this person, and I'm jealous, so I'm gonna do better. And
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like an ego trip. They'll do better, instead of the other side of jealousy. Oh no, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. It's you want the good jealousy to where they are not fully jealous, but they're jealous enough to basically want to um, do better.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Or
you don't want the crazy jealousy, because that
yeah.
I've been through that. Where person says they're not jealous and they're
Mm-hmm.
actually jealous. Because they're like, who are you talking to? Why she
Yes.
say something? Who's on your phone? That kind of stuff. That hurts the relationship a lot. So you
Yeah.
you got to find that person. Everybody's not like that. You got to find
Yeah.
that one person that is is semi jealous. Let's put it that way. They're
Yeah.
not all the way jealous, but they're jealous enough to want you enough to keep you away from certain people, but not crowd you or try to stop you from a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, I already have people on the defense sometimes. I mean, I've been told that, talking to me sometimes, it's like you're on the defense. They always on the defense because I'm always thinking, how can I say it? One friend said, I'm always in my head, right? And I was like, no, technically I'm not. Now, I listen to what you say? Mm-hmm. And it's recorded. And if I have to go back and play that recording of what you said, then, that's it. But yeah, yeah, I had that jealousy, man. It's like wearing regular pants. You know what I'm saying? They wanted me to dress up like a Little House on the Prairie. It's like, whoa, hold on. I got I'm I got a whole daddy, and he don't tell me how to dress. And if I'm being respectful to myself and you and my kids, so you should accept that. But um, I don't want I don't want to be on the defense all the time, thinking that I have to defend my actions every time. I mean, defend me being friendly, talking to somebody, because I'm gonna speak. That's just, if you meet my dad, that's the way he is, and I get that from him, because there's no way I'm gonna walk around here, just being mean and ugly for no reason. I'm gonna speak when I see you, or even if I don't know you, hey, how you doing? That doesn't hurt to say that to somebody, because you never know how they day going. So I don't want to be on the fence, and I don't want to put the other person on the defense either. So that's another thing of working out, because jealousy in a relationship is, oh my
It's
God, the
horrible.
worst. Yes.
It's
And
it's
so,
the one of the biggest things that causes separation, and then um, another thing that causes arguments. Useless, needless arguments. And then you brought up another point, and I wanted to bring it up before we end the podcast today. Was
mhm,
flirtation.
mhm,
So I mean, in flirting in a man's point of view and a woman's point of view is I've learned that it's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
To a woman talking to a man, and smiling, many people see that as flirting.
Mm.
And I've been one of the ones that thought that was flirting as well many years ago. Now I've grown to know that certain people have
Mm-hmm.
that gene in them that they're naturally very communicative. They smile, they talk, they just, they're social butterflies pretty much. They talk to everybody. They have no issue with talking to
Yeah.
certain people,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone sees it different. So like a man that would talk to a woman would
Yeah.
see that as them flirting with them, and take the wrong, like, take it wrong, put it like that way. They'll see it as, oh, she's flirting with me, she wants me, or something like that. No,
Yeah.
whereas the woman is just being kind and friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I know that because I've been with people like that, and that's just natural to them. Now if you start touching and stuff like that, then yeah, I call that, flirting.
Yeah.
With man, they talk to every woman, and sometimes it seems like they're flirting, but they're really not, and then other people take it as flirting. What's your take on
Mm.
this?
What's my take? Okay, so you know me. I'm gonna talk to everybody, so that's just it. And it does come across flirtatious, I guess, because that touch. I'm a hugger, touchy feely person, but I try to make it like how can I say, be respectful. Sometimes if it gets brought that way, I try to take it back to the other direction. But I think with me, that's just my nature. Once you get to know me, I'm that kind, inviting person. That's me. Now I know when a dude or my dude is flirting because it's things you're doing differently, which you know it can be all of a sudden your tone changes, or it's slow and Mac Daddy change. That they know when they flirting. They know when they're flirting. But my tone doesn't change with any person I talk to. If it's female or male, it's the same type of tone. You know what I'm saying? So I just know, like, hey, you talking like this 70 pimp right about now to this lady. I mean,
Ex pimp,
yeah,
like I said earlier.
and all y'all guys got an X pimp. Y'all got that X pimp waves in y'all, the big stuff. I was listening to that this morning, so it stuck in my head. That's what that song was about. A guy thought he can get any girl in the world, but anyway, um, yeah. So I wouldn't, go off about it. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, hey, she might think you was flirting with her. Gotta have to watch that. And then I rather if my person that I'm dealing with feels like, oh, man, I think these dudes are looking at you certain, in certain ways, and that's just dudes, period, right? They wolves. That's how they gonna look regardless. So if I talk to one dude just like that, I'm talking to a female the same way. Now, if I known you, I'm gonna laugh and talk with you more than I may laugh and talk with this female. But yeah, I just I think you know when you flirt. You know when a person flirt. I mean, it changes. If I'm flipping my hair and then I walk away and look back like on waiting to exhale. Oh, he was looking, girl. He was looking. I'm flirting. I'm flirting. So yeah, but now. I just want to make sure that my significant other know if when I'm with you 100. It's no all this ins and out now. You want to play the field? Okay, you play your field. Stay over there with yours, and leave me out of it. Type thing. That's how I would go with it. But yeah.
All right, and that concludes today's podcast. And the question we answered today is, what are you doing to get rid of the bricks in your luggage from the past?
Mhm.